Now, the fourth principle and the last principle given by F.W. Taylor is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. In this principle, Taylor is talking about the development of each and every person, means all the workers, all the employees of the organization should be developed to their greatest efficiency. Efficiency, you all have studied, you understand it. And prosperity. Prosperity means the state of being uh, successful, state of being happy, state of earning good, doing well in their life. All these will be known as prosperity. Now, let us see that what Taylor has talked about this principle. First thing, he said that industrial efficiency depends to a large extent on personal competencies. Means the organization will flourish as much as their employees are skillful, their employees are having the abilities, their employees are competent enough to do the work. So, if the employees are efficient, industrial efficiency would be there. And then he says that it is very essential to develop the workers, right? Then only the scientific management approach can be followed. He believed that there is a best method to do something. And when this best method is possible to do, if you follow proper training for them. Proper training for them means, he said that workers should be developed in such a way so that they are efficient and they are doing the work efficiently for the organization. Now, he said that this efficiency and the competencies of the workers should not be developed only after selection process. He said that each person should be scientifically selected. Scientifically selected means there should be a proper scientific procedure to be followed to select the employees, to select the workers. Means you should go through the proper selection procedure, including like you should take written test, you should take their trade test, you should take their attitude test, and then only you should select the right person to do the right thing. And then he said that after selecting that right person, the work also should be assigned to suit their physical, mental, and intellectual capabilities. It means that you should assign that work to that person who is good in doing that particular thing. For example, there may be a person who is very creative. So he should be given the designing work, he should be given the planning work. Like there are some people who are good in executing the things. Uh, so those type of people should be given that type of work. There is a philosophy behind it. Usually people can be categorized in three part. These three part are what, like we say it, there are people who have some qualities of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Some people are very creative, so they are having the element of Brahma. So they should be given that type of things which are required to create something, like planning kind of things. Then there are some people who are good in organizing the things, so they are having the Vishnu Tattva. So those should be given that thing to operate the thing. So the people should be given that kind of work who are good in operating the things. Like you have planned and you have a particular way to do it. You have set them the methodology to do it, and they are good enough in executing those things. Then there are some people who are having the Mahesh Tattva. So these are the people who actually are a believer of changing something, creating something new. So they will, remove the old one and will create something new. So those people are who don't believe in the same pattern, so whatever the things are being done and they are also following it. So there would be some people like who are having the Mahesh Tattva. So they would like to change the things, old pattern, old traditions, old things. They would like to so you should identify these tattva into those people, and then you should allot the work accordingly, and then they would be doing the justification with that. So see their physical capabilities, see their mental capabilities and their intellectual capabilities also, and accordingly you should give them the work. He was of the view that the concern for efficiency could be built in right from the process of employee selection. You should not think everything after selecting the people. Like you have not selected the right people and then you are trying to train them to do your work. No, you should identify that I need these type of people, and you should select only that type of people which you require for your organization. So you should start this thing from the selection procedure itself. And then he says that to increase this efficiency, they should be given the required training. Suppose they are not having those qualities which you want them to perform. So you can give them training and you can make them to do that work. So the efficient employees would produce more, not only for themselves but for the organization also, and then they will earn more. If an employee is earning more, is it means that the person is doing good for the organization also, and this will actually ensure their greatest efficiency and prosperity for both company and workers. Now let us summarize this. Industrial efficiency, as you can see here, it depends to a large extent on personal competencies. As such, scientific management also stands for worker development. And then workers' training was essential, also to learn the best method, developed as a consequence of the scientific approach. So training should be provided. It means industrial efficiency is dependent on personal competencies, and this personal competencies you need to ensure through selection, so right type of selection. So at the time of selection only you should see that those competencies, those abilities, those capabilities are with those people or not. And after selection, if something is lacking, something is missing in them, then provide the training. And through training, the workers should be developed. And these developed workers only will ensure the greatest efficiency and prosperity for both company as well as workers. So this is the principle, this which says that development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. And yes, what is the advantage of following this principle? There would be team spirit among the all the members of the organization, because everyone is working for the efficiency and prosperity. It will be easy to achieve the organizational goal as all are focused on efficiency. So ultimately organizational efficiency would be ensured, and goal you will be able to achieve the goal also. And when the workers are trained, naturally their performance would be better in comparison to those who are not trained workers. And this training, this workers' development, and this efficiency would be this will ensure actually the efficiency and effectiveness of the in the organization. And one more thing, if the workers are trained, they are capable enough, to do the properly to do the work properly, there would be less injury also, and this is also very important thing to be seen in the organization. So these are the advantage of following this. Okay, so now we have completed the Taylor's principles, all the four principles. First one was what? Science, not rule of thumb. It means what? Taylor believed that there was only one best method to maximize efficiency, which can be developed through study and analysis, and should substitute, or this rule of thumb should be replaced, or hit and trial method should be replaced throughout the organization. And then the second one was harmony, not discord. It means there should be complete harmony between management and worker, instead of a kind of class conflict, the manager versus worker. And to achieve this state, Taylor called for complete mental revolution on the part of both management and workers. And the prosperity of the employer cannot exist for a long time unless it is accompanied by prosperity of the employees, and vice versa. So he advocated paternalistic style of management in practice for this. Then the third one was cooperation, not individualism. This is actually the extension of harmony, not discord. Okay. He said there should be complete cooperation between the labor and the management instead of individualism. Competition should be replaced by cooperation, and there should be an almost equal division of work and responsibility between workers and management. Also, one more thing, management should reward workers for their suggestions, which results in substantial reduction of the cost. At the same time, workers should desist from going on strike and making unreasonable demands on the management. Then the last and fourth was development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. Uh, Taylor was of the view that concern for efficiency could be built in right from the process of employees selection. So each person should be scientifically selected, and the work assigned should suit their physical, mental, and intellectual capabilities. And to increase efficiency, they should be given the required training time to time. An efficient employee only would produce more and earn more. This will actually ensure the greatest efficiency and prosperity for both organization, means the company, and the workers. So this is all about the four principles of Taylor. Thank you.